So we just saying it's okay to talk about lynching in 2026.
Bye.
It's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
It's not
guys,
funny
we want to say that this is not funny. Nor was the roast. There were points that were very funny.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. Because how did you feel? I'm going to preface by saying I watched it last night for this episode.
You watched it? Yeah.
I heard the conversation around it and I didn't want to watch it.
You watched the entire thing? Because I couldn't get through it.
Yes, and Meek Mill's performance was disgusting.
Oh, Meek Mill was in there?
Yeah, and I was like, Meek Mill, come on. Like, he was the ending performance.
So
he wasn't roasting.
No,
he was
I know
rapping.
for sure.
But like, I was like, what is this? But anyways,
if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the Kevin Hart Roast, which aired, I think, last Monday or the Monday before that. I can't remember. I think it's the Monday before.
No, it was last Mother's Day because it was live on Mother's Day.
Yes. So for us in Europe, it was Monday, 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And for me, it was just a hard watch because of all the racist that was on it, but just also the racist jokes. Yeah. And I just couldn't get through it. No. And some of the jokes, apparently because I watched it afterwards, some of the jokes that was there live, they took out, like they were worse ones. And I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find the post anymore where I saw how bad it was that they had to take it out. Because I was trying to think, so the ones I hear with like...
That wasn't even the worst?
That wasn't the worst.
Yeah. So, and just to also side note why we said talking about lynching is being, let's say, normal. Mm-hmm. If you didn't watch the roast, there's a joke where they said, what, Kevin Hart is so short that they would lynch him on a bonsai tree.
Yeah.
And my thing with these conversations is like, where do you draw the line between like a joke and blatant racism?
I guess that's the whole thing with comedy since the whole Dave Chappelle thing where he was talking about like transgenders. Where it's like, you know, they're finding it hard, comedians, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they come up in a time where like there were no boundaries.
Exactly.
And now as comedians, like we living in a time where we should be more aware.
My thing is, you continue.
No.
I think the difference is, one, the messenger, from a place of, hear me out, I feel like these people will say this at home and like fully back it. As in, they could joke about it and be like, ha ha, hee hee. But like at home, they also kind of say certain things that aren't even jokes. So it's like, where I say is the messenger, I think sometimes a joke don't land because it's like, are you actually mean that? Like, in the sense that, like you say, well, we were talking about this off camera, but like you have people who support MAGA, you have just people who we know to be racist. And in that environment where you have black people who just allowing it to happen, is like, it creates that whole thing of, is this even a joke anymore?
So guys, what's going on?
So
we need to introduce ourselves. It's me, Haiti Leonie.
And it's your girl, Jojo Renee. And you are tuned into a juicy, interesting episode of Bite the Bullet Podcast.
If you're new here, the Bite the Bullet Podcast is a Caribbean podcast co-hosted by us, where we talk about everything and anything. Unfiltered conversation.
That part. And if you're new, but if you're also not new, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe as we speak if you have any thoughts, because this is quite a thought-provoking episode. If you haven't heard the last couple of minutes, just let us know what you think. Maybe add in some of like your perspectives or anything like that. And if you're enjoying it, if you reach to this point, you like it, so you should like it. And subscribe. Statistically, a lot of y'all ain't subscribed, and I think it's important to stay up to date with us and contribute to our growth.
And that's how you actually support.
Thank you.
And I realize people not commenting. Comment down below what you think, you know?
Yeah.
Give your perspective, because we also want to know.
Like, don't be shy.
No.
And you don't have to do an anonymous page. Like, just show your name. It's okay.
Yeah.
But anyways,
back to what you were saying, because you was like, it's not okay. This is what I think that was your last sentence. I think that's the last thing you say.
Yeah, as in the environment, the people, black people allowing these people, yada, yada.
For me, I don't know at what point, if the guy Shane, he's tell the lynching joke, but I don't know at what point he started coming for Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah.
And for me, that's when it started to get really uncomfortable because they just kept going on how dark she is. And I was just sitting there like this is really what we're doing in 2026. Like the jokes was about her being masculine.
Yeah.
A man, her husband committing suicide. Constantly. And I was just like...
But you know what's the craziest part? A lot of these jokes were written and at the end you get the credits of who the writers were and majority were white. And it's like you just have a bunch of white people writing jokes about black people. So it's like, that's why I say where it just gets blurred with regards to the...
I don't know, because it's like, okay, let's start with the root of the problem. Because to me, it's like, I guess they tell Kevin Hart he could have the roast. But then he don't really have any control as to like who the writer's going to be. Because once you choose, I don't know if he chooses the panel, or don't we call these people the roasters? I don't know if he chooses them or Netflix then also have to sign off on these people. Does he choose who hosts it? Because the person that hosted apparently was very problematic, that Shane guy.
Yeah.
And do they do like a run through, a sound check with, I guess not, because you're not getting authentic. But I was Regina Hall.
All
like
the way.
her face is just how I was.
She's
watching.
Like,
she was not having it at all.
No.
Like at all. And I just, for me, it's like it shows what we were saying earlier is a reflection of like the climate we're in now. And I think that's why possibly it's not okay by realizing like as time go on, this goes back to like who you choose to run office in your countries and stuff like that, because politically we in a space, no matter where you live in the world, where the people elected is just, it reflects just where we is, because people not caring. I also think people starting to get desensitized to racism in a way, which is like, if I'm gonna be honest, not that I getting desensitized, but I think sometimes as a black person you're just tired, like you're exhausted, fatigued. And you just don't have the energy to like. Not that you don't care, because it does bother me.
But if it's being thrown at you constantly, it's like your hands gonna get tired of swapping it away. Yeah,
but also just fighting, which ultimately is what they always wanted. And that's why sometimes it's hard. Because Haiti in 2019, I was a Facebook warrior. Like I was a Facebook warrior. But I realized that like, I realized I don't have the energy no more to like stand 10 toes down and fight in certain things anymore, just because I'm tired. And I wonder if like as a collective, that's where we are as black people, where it's just like, I'm too tired to even fight. Even though like I know there's people out there that do it. And also I sometimes go to events where it's like people on the panel or wherever we're talking about, I see that there's still fire in certain people. Yeah. And I love that because I like to get back into those rooms. Yeah. But I realize sometimes, and it's not that I don't find it important, but I also feel like I'm tired. But so I wonder.
I think sometimes it's like, okay, we tired, but it's sometimes that we fight. I think there's levels to it where it's like, I don't know how you have it, but if you experience certain things, or even if you have certain conversations with people, there's sometimes where it's like you probably checking like, I ain't even got the energy for y'all. But then there is sometimes that we have those nuggets of like, nah, I'm fighting for this. Where it's like, I do think there's...
You think us, because like for me, the peak was 2020 after George Floyd. Yeah. And that was even one of the jokes. When that joke come out his mouth, I was just at my TV screen.
But to see Kevin cackling the way he was cackling at that joke was insane. Yeah.
So he just laughed.
Yeah. It's fact.
Cackling. And I was just like, which is why when Katt Williams come out, I was just that was
beautiful.
But to me, he was basically, his whole issue with Kevin is that you're a puppet. And I was just like, but his whole roast is him being a puppet.
Because like you say, he probably had to like, you know, say who he wanted to bring in Netflix sign off. It was probably a case of Netflix telling him straight up, look, these and these and these people going. And he was like, yes, yes, yes. Because their main thing was that Kevin don't say no. And I think that also goes to show, and it's also a conversation about the black people in white spaces who allow their identity or their just being to be taken advantage of and allow their community to get the brunt of that too, and just let it happen. Because I feel like what we saw with that, for me at least, was a black man just allowing white people to just set fire to his community in a sense, because he gave them the platform for it, but he also took the platform to do it.
I wonder if it was in exchange for his show. Because he just had the reality like the week before, literally the week before was the last episode of his reality show with I'm Finding the Fun. To be honest, one of the best reality shows I watch in a while, because I ain't laugh like in a while. And I watched that show and I was just dying of good laughter. Like that was good.
Genuine laughter.
Good jokes. And then it's like, then they announced he having a roast. I was like, interesting.
Yeah, it's all marketing.
Yeah.
But I think that's why when Katt Williams said the only one with a soul, I was like, I hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's like things are no longer for the people or for your community or for purpose in a sense. The purpose is money, or the purpose is exposure. The purpose is clickbait. Like I think Netflix said the POV of this roast is going to be racism, because we know we gonna get views from that. We know they gonna snip things, put it on TikTok, and people now see that on TikTok and they want to see what's on the roast. Like I feel like this whole soulless approach, I understand where Katt was coming from, because now it is a thing of like, you don't care the harm that you cause, you don't care what means you get to get there. For your views, is just we gonna get there.
But that's what I mean. I think like there have to be somebody in these rooms with some kind of moral compass to feel like, but we can't do this off the backs of black people, and
they kick them out the room.
But I don't know, and that's why I think at the end of the day is the climate that we in. That one, like especially America with MAGA and whatever going on, where it's like people starting to feel comfortable to do it. I mean, you have ICE and all of that happening. Yeah. We have it happening in the Middle East. Like it's really happening all over, and it's like, but nobody really doing anything. And that's why I think that has always trickled down to even media at this point and what we consume, because it's like
100%.
It's nothing really being done. And I feel like I know people to be like, yeah, we talking is important, but I reached the point where it's like at this point action speaking louder than words is what going to really help these kind of things. But I starting to feel like we're taking steps back. 100%,
but I think it comes from that whole like dirty car like philosophy of a lot of people, especially when I hear a lot of people speak, they speak from a place of, everything's already messed up. What is me doing going to change? And I think that not only applies to like say the environmental conversations, but I think it's also now applying to like the political or just the environmental conversations that don't apply to the environment, but more so our surroundings as people. And I think you now have it that y'all know I always take the technological angle, but when you consume so much, but also when you see so much with regards to like what's going on, and you think, oh my gosh, there's so much that's going on. One, you think your actions, if they're not big, you shouldn't even be doing anything, because it's like, I need to be able to contribute. But two, you also see it from a place of everything is just gone to shit. So it's like, what does my action do? And I think a lot of us think like that. We think that there's not much we can do, so we don't even look for what we can do. You understand? Where it's like, we think, okay, let's have conversations about it, but I'm not in a position of power. I'm not in gov. I'm not on the board of Netflix. So there isn't much I could do, but it's like already saying that builds that wall of like not even finding answers for things you don't know that you could actually still do. I think we should give ourselves homework and maybe think, what are things we could do based off of the conversations we have? Like in terms of, we do speak, we are doing something, we're building awareness around or having conversations that should be had. But like, I don't know, like now I want to go home and think, maybe write down 3 action steps. Like what can I actually do physically to actually see something?
But as we're going back to what I was saying earlier, like it's hard because when you're the oppressed one, sometimes you're tired. So it's just like, I feel like with a lot of conversations I've had over the years, I feel like I working 10 times harder than the people that are oppressing me, whereas they should be the ones actually going out there to do the work, to go look into certain things and realize what they could be doing to make sure they're not fostering a space or whatever, rhetoric or whatever. So it's like, mentally, I'm not in a space of I need to do anything right now other than vote. So it's like when elections come, making sure I'm voting for the right people so that like the country I live in could at least get somewhere. Because I was having this conversation with somebody recently. It's like, we just think when we electing people in our country want people to be elected so that they could do something for the country, but they don't realize that like global politics is what really does matter most. And so when people get elected, they just want to do things for the country, but then you end up being a puppet because there's so much other things going on globally that they have to actually do.
Yeah.
So like when you're thinking of Palestine or whatever, but I'm like, I think the problem is at this point we want to start electing people because a lot of the things globally to me is man-made and ego.
Yeah.
It's like, I want that land and I want the oil over there.
It's about power and control.
Exactly. Whereas like, I think we need to start electing people who don't have the ego to get involved with these things. I feel like these things matters more than the people in the actual country where things actually matters most. Facts. If that's where you come from.
What's your opinion on Mamdani?
I have no idea who that is.
In New York here.
Oh, I haven't really seen, like, I remember when he got elected, everybody was happy because I was the first Muslim to get elected. But I haven't seen much of what going on recently.
Apparently, he was able to drop New York's debt.
Oh, I did actually say, I just said I don't see things like he killed, it was trillions?
Like trillions of debt.
Trillions of debt he erased in New York in the past couple, he did a year?
Months, I would say months.
How?
I can't remember. I didn't look into how he do that.
But
that's what I mean. Because it's like, you have people, if you elect the right people, they're going to start doing the things that matters most rather than what y'all getting yourself involved in. But at the same time, I still think like, maybe in a year I'm going to be less tired and start, doing what I got to do.
Yeah.
But I think, as you say, everybody should still be looking out for like what they could do. Because ultimately, like, what you do in your little circle matters on a global scale.
Like even my main point is like even the littlest step is a step still. So it's like sometimes we think we gotta do something big. You don't even realize how big your something could be in the future. So yeah. But anyways, you want to get into our questions to kind of lighten up the conversation. So if y'all new here and y'all don't know, we just do these random questions where we asked something that we was thinking on. And the craziest part is I was thinking on something the other day and I was like, oh, this is going to be a question. And I forgot to write it down.
I have this thing now where it's like, I just force myself, if I think of something, to tick up my notes and write it down. But sometimes I'll still be too lazy. But this is going to be so random. I was there washing chicken and I was like, I wonder how much money I've spent on chicken in my lifetime.
You just burned me. It has killed me how different our questions will be, but it's hilarious.
Because that's the random shit that's happening in my head on a daily basis.
Okay.
And then I was really thinking about it, because if I think about just this week alone, probably a good 15 euros.
Okay, so let me think about it. From when you start buying your own chicken.
But I don't count, because like back in the day, are you in the canteen buying chicken? You in the village buying chicken? Yes. You in the village buying chicken, a chicken's teriyaki by Subway. Like all of those count.
I hear it.
Then
why is that even a question again? Because for me, it's like, let me just enjoy my chicken. I don't want to know the expense of my chicken.
I really thought about it.
Oh gosh.
And does egg count?
It's pre-chicken. I hear it.
I be buying my box from the market. Which have how much?
30.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we well into the toes. I think we well into like the K's. Like kids. Maybe K is 10K. Probably a good 10K on chicken.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What?
You get taxed more than that by the government.
You think more than 10K or less? Sure. More than 10K?
Ooh. On chicken?
Sure.
And also my elementary school was next to KFC.
Yeah, so you was buying up a chicken.
You add all of this up and the popcorn. Oh my god!
That used to slap.
Chicken.
Yeah.
You know what popcorn chicken I had?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we reached 20K.
That hike. You especially reached 20K. I think maybe I under that because I like
chicken.
I love a fish, girl. I'm a shrimp. So plus I grew up with a pescatarian mother, so it's like we had chicken, but I don't think we had as much chicken as you. Genuinely,
what you used to eat then?
Fish, salt fish, provision.
So on a weekly basis, you would have more fish than chicken.
No, it's just more balanced. Like we wasn't always, or we would have pork chops because I used to eat pork. So pork chops, ribs, like it was a variety.
Same, but I
just
think
feel like.
But I think I'm just like literally every time you go out, restaurant, all those things, like because we used to go to eat a lot.
I hear it. Okay, it makes sense. I ain't gonna lie. When we were out to eat in Saba, you eat it. I eat garlic shrimp with onion rice from the Spanish people them. Or like if I come SM, you had bamboo burnies. I ain't gonna lie, the one that used to be my whole upstairs.
Yes, same.
Best restaurant of my life. I used to yum 3 rolls.
So you just eat more fish and chicken in your life, you think?
No. Yes. I don't know.
That's what I mean, because I also eat a lot of fish, but I think like because like chicken is a more affordable option, especially back then. That's what people just naturally gravitate to when you're talking about cooking in your house. Yeah.
But you know what's funny?
Or just even in food.
With us, the fishermen, especially in Saba, you come home and there's a plastic bag on your door. And it's often like it would be fish or crabs or something like that.
For free?
I don't know. I think my parents were just cool with them or something. And they, not abonnement. In Saba, we don't have abonnement.
You don't know? Maybe they had a deal.
I'm going to ask them though, but I do think they had like, maybe they get it for a better price or whatever. But like, yeah, so even crab, like we ate a lot of different things, but in Saba it's or goat. In Saba, you just eat what the island kind of gives in a sense. Like the chicken, of course, we would buy in the store, or the pork chops. Not even the pork chops you could get from somebody on the road have pigs up there. They kill a pig, you go buy some pork chops. Or the beef. I never ever want to see this ever again in my life. I saw them skin a cow and then traumatized. But anyways, so like kind of like that, I guess. But yeah, no. Even when I moved up here, I wasn't eating. I eat chicken now, but I ain't eat chicken like that. But I don't understand your thought.
But I don't think I eat. I think the most the meat I eat most is beef now.
I hear it.
If my mother know, like growing up, ground beef was my favorite thing. But I still think because chicken and everything, I think that's what you probably consume the most without
Plus,
thinking.
if you include eggs, for sure, past 20K. For me, if you include eggs, I probably up to 30. I also do bio, so it's like, we reach.
True. But anyway, that's my random question.
Well, mine was like, sometimes you're looking around your house, and I'd be looking at stuff, and I feel like certain things in my house have a personality. I was thinking, like, if you was a household item, like, what would you be?
The couch.
You just bun me. She's like, yeah. Oh my days.
Like I feel like it's the best place to be.
I hear it.
It's very versatile. It adapts.
Yeah.
You can put it anywhere, it comes in all shapes and sizes as I've been in my life. You know what I mean? Like, it's a vibe.
The funny thing is I was thinking the bed. As in for me it's like, okay, I get made up. You don't use me constantly, so I'm not abused. And like my bed has storage, so like, but this was a bit dirty. Like you put things inside me, so it's like, okay, I'm useful.
True, my couch also have storage.
And don't watch me like that. Don't watch me like that.
I was trying not to go there.
don't
my couch also have one of the lift up storage thing and the pull out.
And your couch turns into a bed.
Exactly. So that's why I personally thinking of my couch. My couch is where we started this pod. It's the most littlest place.
It is high key. I like that. Wait, I really want to know what you would be though. If you was a household item, what would you be?
The fridge.
Bunch of big bags.
But the fridge, like,
snacks like bar.
Yeah.
The food.
A Philips Hue lamp.
I hear it. You just light up people there. Sorry.
But why is it? What's your reason? Because you light up people there?
It's just different colors. But it have to be Philips. Only high quality light.
Yeah.
High quality.
10,000
lumens.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Talking about high quality, I feel like you had a low quality of people coming to the island not low quality, sorry. Let me not come for them. But a low quality of knowledge with regards to like where they going. So just to bring into the topic. I have a question. Okay. And I really want people to answer this. When you land and like the pilot says, we have arrived and da-da-da-da-da. Like, are you just here?
For y'all watching. For y'all watching.
Valid question.
For y'all watching.
And the reason I asked that is because, like, it's so jarring, and I've been hearing it, but you go online, and St. Maarten has been all over my timeline.
Saint Maarten.
Saint Maarten.
Sint Maarten. Sint Maarten. Sint Maarten.
Saint Maarten.
Danza Kuduro?
Danza Kuduro. Pro.
When you see the text on the island, it says Saint Maarten. And I feel like it begins.
They ain't gonna know from no Danza Kuduro. I think they just don't know how to pronounce shit and they don't listen.
I feel like it's a actual good depiction. I mean these words. It's a good depiction of the American education system.
I don't think so. I disagree.
I was trying to make a clip moment, but it's...
Oh Lord! I mean,
because the reason why I say that is because Saint Maarten can't even like decide how to spell.
There's a reason for that, and I want to
don't say we don't know how to spell this side.
You cannot decide how.
I know
because there's arguments between people about how you spell the island's name.
And I know the history behind that because I have a beautiful historian friend, Larval. So you know how they have Hispaniola, and that's essentially the Dominican Republic in Haiti. So Hispaniola is the overarching name of that country, but it's split into two territories, Dominican Republic and Haiti. With Sint Maarten, St. Martin is the overarching name of the country. However, it's split into Dutch side and French side. So French side keeps the French spelling. Dutch side applies a more Dutch spelling. However, Hispaniola, if you look at Sint Maarten as his, you know what I mean, Sint Maarten with the I-N is the overarching name of the whole country. And then you have the split territories. Thank you, Larva, for the lesson.
But I feel like the island know this, and that's where yes, they do, because it's like, if we call the Dutch side, do we stick to the Dutch spelling, or if we from the French side, do we stick to the original French spelling? And I think that's the argument, yeah, because it's like,
where do you go?
If we are two countries, so it's like,
yeah,
we could choose one for the entire country, or we could choose one based on which side you are on the island. But also, if you think about it, when we talk about the saints from the Catholic,
yeah,
technically you don't spell it S-I-N-T. So none of it is like,
I got you.
The actual saint, you say S-A-I-N-T. And if you're talking about the Dutch side, but we actually speak English, so it's just like, you know, I think all of those things just make it confusing, but the history behind it is because of that.
Yeah. But why, my ignorance, why we have saint in front of a lot of the countries, so Saint Lucia?
Because Christopher Columbus was Catholic.
So he put saint in front.
I know, well, November 11th was Saint Martin's birthday.
Yeah.
So when he found Saint Martin, he called it Saint Martin because it was Saint Martin's birthday on November 11th.
Yeah.
I guess that's the same for the other islands. I don't know what was his... I don't know the history between saints. Sorry? The saint? See, that should technically be the original spelling.
That part. Okay.
And that was what we learned growing up. So it's like, yeah. I want to know what they called the original saint.
Yeah. But back to my point. I feel like, yeah. I feel like even Kristen and I went to an event that was really cool where they talked about the book A Small Place, where essentially the writer, Jamaica Kincaid, was just talking about the experience of like being in Antigua and how it is when you have tourists coming in, or essentially like the overdevelopment and stuff like that, where you no longer as a local feel like a country's yours. And that's a bigger topic, but I feel like a lot of the things they were saying is like people just come in and they have such a level of ignorance towards like the people themselves, and the culture is like you come because it's, especially nowadays, you could call it aesthetic. You come because it's hype, rather than actually coming with a level of intention that feeds the country more, rather than just nyamming from the country. You understand? And I feel like with some of these vlogs, I hear it like, one, y'all benefiting from one, y'all getting put out there more, so now more people want to travel to the island.
Yeah. But
then we have to look at, okay, there's benefits from that, but is it all good? Because then you have the nadela, the cons, whereas like, one, you have people who contribute to the overdevelopment on the island, or just the lack of development because they're starting to pour money in, say, like the tourism sector. But then you also have, as a local, you just on your own soil feeling like you're getting disrespected by people who just don't take the time to actually understand you or your culture or your country.
I don't know because I feel like I can't speak for the people living there. But at the same time, like, to me, it's just a mispronunciation thing. And I wonder, like, I guess it's a thing like with your name. Because it's like, how personal do you take it when people don't pronounce your name right? Rather than just educating. Because I think most tourists, once we educate them, they just be like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah.
And that's why I don't necessarily feel like they just disrespect us. And I also feel like a lot of the tourists that go to the island, they genuinely, especially the ones I've been seeing, they just really want to like connect with the locals. Like, and like really see what the island are about.
Yeah.
And then of course, a lot of them, they're just to party. So then it's like, at the same time though, and this is a deeper conversation, Saint Maarten on the Dutch side, I don't know how much we really highlight our culture for the tourists
even if
to
you
like
partying, you play an American.
Yeah, but also how much is our culture on the forefront when tourists come for them to be disrespecting it? Because what they're seeing is party life, food.
Yeah.
And of course that's part of who we are now as Saint Maarten people. But to me, it's like if we had like a bunch of like, once you reach the airport, you don't have car riders, because this is going back to the whole iShowSpeed thing. If you reach the airport and from time you reach, you be getting Johnny cakes on the airport and Panam dance being happening over there, and like you getting history lessons everywhere you go, and the buildings look authentic to how we used to look back in the day, and people shitting on that, I would be like, okay, that girl really coming for our culture. Yeah. But I feel like what Saint Maarten presents to the outside world, especially tourists, is not
our
rooted in our culture. So then I just be like, I think the island just really foster a touristic way of being now. Yeah. Whereas like I don't feel like that really disrespects us per se, but more so that's a question to Saint Maarten, is like how tapped in are we to our culture?
Yeah, for me the whole Saint Maarten thing is a something small in a bigger conversation. Like I don't think there's levels of like there's levels at which you reach when it reaches disrespect. Where it's like, for me, it's just more so how you're I feel like I should apply it more to Saba, because like you say, with the locals, like you don't really know how they're experiencing it down there. But I think with Saba at least, tourism is not our biggest industry, so I can't say we have a bunch of tourists. But I think sometimes for us, there is just that frustration of like, you feel like people there, but they just there for the things that highlight or they're familiar with or they're curious about, which is good. But that still feeds, let's say, Saint Maarten on their side, it feeds the system of like, oh, let's make our culture more applicable to them, because they come in with this heavily like, oh yeah, where we're from, we do this and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, let's make sure we accommodate them. Whereas I feel like in a lot of the Caribbean countries, I think, like you say, if you present yourself with your culture and you present yourself from a strong 10 toes identity, is that case of like, now they have to adapt and now they have to learn about it because it's pushed in front of their face. Whereas I feel like they easily think, okay, I could just like be a bit ignorant because like y'all don't even push yourselves out there, which is a bigger conversation, because then I feel like it leads into a lot of other things. But that's essentially where it was coming from, where it's just like, you could say the country's name differently. Sometimes I feel like they might do it for what you call it, rage bait. But I also feel like it could lead into a lot of other things of like, you don't take that intentional step to actually understand where you're going. Yeah. So for me, it's more in that realm. But yeah.
But I think that maybe I wasn't low-key not meaning it, but that's why I think with the American system is like they see themselves as like the point of view is American. Yeah. So it's like they automatically think the world adapts to them when they go places. So I don't think they travel with it. Like, I think some people do. Like, some people do actually travel to learn about a place. Yeah. I think some people travel for themselves. So it's like they're not even out here trying to tap into where they're going. Yeah. You know? But yeah, I find it weird. But I think the deeper conversation of like what we have on the forefront, which was to me my biggest critique with the iShowSpeed thing, where it's like, I don't see Saint Maarten. I didn't see Saint Maarten culture when this man reached. I see them have him waiting outside, which is definitely Saint Maarten culture. Yeah. But at the same time, like, and maybe we could all answer this, because like, how would you have welcomed him? For me, like, when I see him, how he was in Jamaica, how he was in Dominica, like we could have seen that was Dominican culture. We could have seen that was Jamaican culture. To me, Jamaican did the best.
Yeah.
Like and forget the other one. Dominica too. But like I feel like y'all should have welcomed this man on the airport with the Panam dance.
Yup.
With some Johnny cake and some fish. I don't know why he had to race a plane. I see we was trying to go for the viral moments, but it was just like...
Oh, he had asked to race a plane?
When he was in Dominica before, in the thing, he said, man, I want to race a plane today. But that's probably because they already...
Oh, he asked for this.
That's literally what he said in the country before.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was planned. Because
I think it was because our intel had already known that was going to happen before it happened. But at the same time, like, yeah, this was his fourth country. You could have seen the white eyes. You know when you go beach all day?
Yeah.
And you reach home and your whole body just busts up, your eyes red. That's how he look when he land. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I get it. Everybody else was out there. Then they went into town. I did like them going to, the food. No, the food. Captain Richard. I did like that because I feel like that's one of our most well-known Caribbean places. Like that food slap. Shout out to Kenya and your mom.
Yeah.
That's his mom's place. Yeah.
You were at some and you didn't go. Yo, free promo. Sponsor me.
But I think it's more like we were so full, man.
I hear it.
Like that's for me, like that's one of, especially on the dot side, because before everybody used to go front side for food, which is a whole lot of conversation because I find Lolo so overrated. But anyway, and I feel like now at Zimbabwe we have our own place that we could actually tell tourists to go to and that we could feel like re-represented. So that was good. He did have Johnny cake there and stuff like that. But I feel like the welcome on the airport that's where it should have started. Like our culture should have started from there. You know what I mean? And then we went into town and it was just a bunch of bouillon, which I know Saint Maarten on right now, but we really have good soca music. We have our King James and King Verse, and we have like...
Sorry, no, continue. Please continue. King James and King Verse. yeah, continue.
I don't know how you could even get King Bobo in there. Like, I don't know. Like, you know... wouldn't even mind if y'all made this man bust the Maggie.
That part. Like, at least you're doing something. Even
though they can be, you had him there bobbing his head. I know that's your thing. But I mean, like, you know, and I know he didn't stream the whole thing. He really just streamed for like 2-3 hours on the dot side. But there was so much more we could have put. And that's why, to me, that reflects how we operate when it comes to tourists and what we have on the dot side going on. Because when I speak to certain people that go to Sint Maarten for the first time, even some of my colleagues, they like, the front side is where they see like Caribbean life, and then the dot side is where they see party American life. It's just like,
it's more commercial.
It's very commercial, and that's how we've been for years, and it's getting even more that way. So that's why, to me, it's like, I don't know necessarily if I just take it so personal when they come there and
and they don't know the thing. Like,
they don't know what's going on.
You understand? Because it's like, I'll show you how to treat me.
How they live in this state.
Exactly.
But yeah.
No, I understand that. And that's very valid.
Yeah, I was wondering what else you would do for iShowSpeed. I had that already though. And it's like, you got to think about what... That's Trinidadian. And I hear they fighting for...
But
right now they're fighting to be like... Somebody was telling me that like Trinidad want to be known or documented as the people that start Carnival. Because now all these islands adopted and like they're on their 200th Carnival and we on our like 55th. I don't know about them. We talk. They're not the Caribbean. We don't know about them.
But
it is different though.
No, but that's what I mean. Who started Carnival? Is it really Trinidad or Brazil?
We could look it up. And even if it's Brazil, was it also resistance?
Exactly, because if you look at New Orleans too, it's like everywhere has their like specific kind.
Of course, Brazil is the most black. It's so black. It's African as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if the reason it started was out of resistance.
I'm sure.
Okay, I don't know.
That's the whole point of like
Carnival.
And then someone made a mention that, if you want to talk about what's not our culture, then why are they talking about feathers? Why everybody wearing feathers in a carnival costume?
Anybody have the answer?
Oh yeah, who started? I actually want to know who started Carnival.
Is it a religious thing? Like from the Europeans? And then
Definitely not in the Caribbean.
No.
Brazil
It was a
held its
resistance.
first formal carnival in 1723, over a century before Trinidad's modern street celebration began in 1839, and it was developed. Brazil's festival evolved from the Portuguese intrudo, which is probably like a European carnival.
Yeah.
Whereas Trinidadian carnival developed from French masquerade balls introduced in the late 1700s, later incorporating street parades after the abolition of slavery. So actually, both of them never started because of abolition of slavery. It was turning some masquerades or festivals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that influence Carnival, like Calypso, started from resistance. So it's like, I guess Carnival in itself maybe started from like events, blah, blah, blah. But I do think a lot of things that now come into play with regards of how we celebrate Carnival have stemmed from resistance. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
So then Trinidad don't have a leg to stand on, I guess.
They won the Caribbean. They won the Caribbean
Yeah, so they,
recognition.
but with South America, no, but this is a whole nother conversation. But anyways, do you want to know what I was going to say?
Yeah, because we're not going to remember after we stop recording.
Okay, so you know how like Guyana, Suriname and all of that, like they in South America, but we still consider them the Caribbean. It's like, sometimes even with Brazil, it's like, as much as I feel like South America is just like a continent added to a level to the Caribbean, but I also think it's because of like what I'm exposed to is like being on Saba, where you have a lot of Colombians, Venezuelans, they all from South America. But in my head, it's like, okay, we all the Caribbean.
I think we all like went through the struggle of being imported there. That sounds crazy, but y'all get what I mean.
Fully.
But because they have the black people there and the Europeans there.
And they all work in fields.
Exactly. I think that's what we have in like.
Two different categories to being Caribbean: geographically, historically, and then politically.
Interesting.
If you didn't hear what he said,
There's
Larval said there's 3 categories in being Caribbean: geographically, politically, and historically. Yeah.
We should have like, okay, so guys, if y'all haven't seen our Instagram, if you haven't been in the know, we gonna have a live on how Caribbean we be. And this will be held on May the 30th at 3 p.m. NL time. Was that in SM time? 4 p.m. Sorry, NL time.
That's 10
That's
PM.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
St. Maarten, Saba, Stacia, all y'all lovely people. So be sure to tune in because it's going to be interesting. We're going to have quizzes. We're going to have challenges. Larval is taking the lead, so we don't even know what's going to happen, but we there.
And I feel like it's a good way to like connect because like
100%.
y'all just tune in, but now we're going to be here live and direct where you could just tap into what's going on and we could talk to you directly.
Yeah, and you can also tap the subscribe button to ensure that you receive updates like these.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I had a little story to tell all you because guys, so I was traveling and I think it's an annual thing, but we go to the Saint Lucia Jazz Festival. Whoa! First off, I mean, I told y'all, Kevin, I don't know if you know, but guys, okay, story time. So I went from London to Beaufort, Saint Lucia, because by the way, guys, for people who want to travel to Saint Lucia, especially if you're living in the Netherlands, go through London. You could pay like a little 88 euros return for Eurostar, and then you could take British Airways straight to Beaufort. Beaufort is quite far from Castries, but you'll be fine. Anyways, to my point, we there at the airport.
Oh, yes.
And I see a fella. I said, oh, I know who that is. I wanted to hike and be like, hello. But I was like, don't be corny. But anyways, we were sitting. I tapped my sister. I was like, Elisha, that's Kes. But I was like, let me just act calm because I was calm, but it was like, oh, he's on my flight. That's lit. Anyways, I leave him alone because I have this thing, and Kristen told me I need to get it together. If I see like famous people, it's like, cool. You're there. That's great. I'm happy to see you, but I'm not going to harass you because I feel like you just constantly get harassed and I'm going to give you your space.
I also feel that way.
Yeah. So I was like, he traveling. Let me leave him alone. So cool. But now we reach St. Lucia and he walking right in front of me. And I'm like, I could touch him. And then we reach inside and everything. We're waiting for luggage. And the funny thing is I messaged Larval too to tell him. And he was like, the DJ there? And then he sent me the video. But anyways, So in the airport, people taking pictures with him. I still checking like, should I go? But then I was like, nah. We reached hotel, everything, because we went to surprise my
father.
My father. I high-key want you to insert that clip because that's hilarious. I gonna send it to you because my father didn't know he was coming. Anywhoosies, so tutus, morning come and we have breakfast. I see Katt. I said, Ma, Katt is staying at our hotel. So when you have breakfast, it's like you have to order your eggs. So if you want like an omelet, sunny side up, whatever. And then we walking inside to go order our egg. And then my mother walked up to Katt. She was like, thank you. I was like, oh, she tries to be cool. Like, thank you for what you're doing.
Okay, yes.
And then I was like, okay, now's my time. I was like, hi. But I was like, yeah, no, big up y'all. Like, y'all really doing some cool, amazing things. And then his manager was standing next to him. He was like, you have a podcast. Ooh. Guys, when...
You didn't tell Kevin?
This
you didn't have Kevin?
This is Kevin's first reaction. Kevin! The people that know about us. When I tell y'all, when I saw Kes, that reaction didn't compare to when I saw Kes. The fact that, and then when he said that, I was like, yeah. And then he turned to Kes and he was like, yeah, that's the girl. I'm like, no way. Because in my head, it's like, guys, and if you subscribe, that's gonna help it too. I know we reach places. I know we in certain, but for us especially, we know Sint Maarten, we know Saba, we know Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao. We know that community is especially being cultivated heavily. But to know that is like reaching Trinidad. Even some people in Saint Lucia know about us. But to really know that Kes himself.
He lives Trinidad South? Sometimes they be, yes.
Nah, it's okay. But anyway, so then cool, we chopping it up and we had to take a picture and I look like he sits out like hikey. Like, are you see the picture?
You should insert it here.
Here's the picture. But he was like, yeah, family. I was like, family. I was like, Jody, just hold it together. Just but I had appreciate just how humble they was. But one of the biggest things I appreciate and say about, you need to hear this. One of the main things they tell me is they said they've been all over the Caribbean, but they still in touch with Saba. And they really want to make that happen.
Saba?
So, Saba, if are you listening? We need to get Kes on the island. I feel like we have no excuse. I know our 50 years of Carnival coming up in July, so it's a bit late. But...
Is it? It's never too late. Or maybe he done booked. I don't know.
I already asked. Yeah, because I was telling them, we got 50 years of Carnival and they was like, bye. But Saba Day is in December. So something can happen. But anyways, so that was amazing. But let's talk about what wasn't so amazing. So the reason Kes was there and the reason I was there was for the Jazz Festival. Guys, I always say everybody should go to the Jazz Festival. I still stand by that. But I think they need to get it together. Because you go, you take a shuttle to where the Jazz Festival is. They have this whole area. You take a shuttle, you reach there. Last year, we already had issues because getting in is like, you just have a whole bunch of lines outside. And then you have like the VIP, but then you have just general. And my thing is, like even in the Netherlands, when you see a whole heap of people and you could think, okay, I'm going to probably be here for a minute. But I feel like this time it was different and the energy wasn't so great. So we actually bought tickets to go to the Jazz Festival. The lineup was crazy that night. And then we just end up turning back and going to the hotel. Yeah, because we were standing in line, guys. And when you're moving and after an hour, you just realize you ain't even reaching close to the entrance.
Yeah.
It was that, but people was also getting rowdy and we was checking like, this ain't it. And we just went home.
But what time was it and what time the festival was going to finish?
So I think we reached there for like 9:30, 9:45-ish.
In the morning?
No, in the evening. The festival started 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but different days start different times. So like with Thames and stuff, that had start 4:30. But we reached there like 9:30. When it reached like, say, 11:15, we here, there's poles here and there's like security check here. We reach here like 11:15. So we check in like that whole hour that just passed, we have another one to go. And then people start getting disorganized. So it was first a long line, but then everybody started to merge into the front. And we were just like, this ain't comfortable. And we just dip out. But I feel like with the Jazz Festival, that's one of the critiques that they have. But it's also one of the things I noticed we had it on Saba before where they didn't organize it in a way that made sense. And the people start to feel it. And I feel like for such a festival that's getting so big and that's getting so much recognition, is like, how are you still have it that people can't superly Supple is an English word too, right?
Y'all need to stop acting like I know.
I just asked in general, like
I
supple.
teacher like I know everything.
No, but okay. Anybody here supple? Is it English and Dutch, or is it
Supple
just
is no? I know the Dutch supple word, but I don't know what you were trying to say.
supple? But I didn't know if that was
Supple
also
is
English.
Dutch. Like it was
Okay.
going smoothly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know in English they got like supply or any whoosies. Supple.
Supple, like snapple, like supple.
Let we not let this whole episode become a supple. But smoothly. Now I even forget what I was saying.
The
It supplely went out of my head. But
does the organization going smoothly? I don't know.
something. But anyways, guys. Supple?
Is an adjective to describe something flexible, easily bent without breaking, or moving with graceful agility.
What she said.
Yeah. But this was not that. And I think for me, it was just a case of like, I don't know. I look at sometimes, I was talking about like Saba and how you kind of could compare it with regards to just how things are organized, but also on this scale. But that was just a story time. So I think we can end it here.
But, okay. I don't know. I just feel like that's so disappointing. But I realize in general, all over the world, even up here, we went to festivals where it's just like, they didn't know what they were doing, and they're still trying to figure it out and get it together.
Yeah.
And
but I experienced it less up here. I ain't even gonna lie to you. As in getting into festivals?
Wait, no, no. It depends. I think they have different areas within a festival where things could go left.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, I remember when we was leaving that was the most ridiculous thing I ever went in.
Leaving a festival?
That was
Fire.
the most ridiculous thing I ever went through.
Yeah.
Like, I almost catch a panic attack, honestly.
Yeah, because you can't move. It's just
And at a certain
so
point,
many
people break the fence so they couldn't get out.
Remember last year, we dipped from wireless before.
Yeah. But I think because of Oh My, I've now reached a thing, even concerts.
You leaving.
As soon as I hear the last song, the what you call it, the confetti start, I'm out to the building, because that traumatized me so much.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, if you don't properly like establish where the exits are and that you're gonna have so much people, crowd management is a thing.
Exactly. But also what they do is they create such small exits for such big crowds. Because I had that at Amafest and it was so scary. But also it didn't only apply to the crowds getting out to the festival. It applied to your car getting out to the parking lot. Like people was there for 2 to 3 hours waiting to be like, what do you call that? When you go, now you have to feed into just one line to get out, whereas there's 6 rows of you. And yeah, it is insane.
That happened last year because we left and then we saw all the TikToks where people was literally stuck there for 3 hours and they didn't get home till 5 a.m.
That's crazy.
After the festival. And then that was London. £25. Yeah.
Yeah, they just profit off of that shit.
15 minutes later, it was 200 for Uber.
Of course, because they know you need them. They checking like, are you all get home? Slap that 200.
Yeah, because I think they had like a couple trains left. So it's like, people ain't gonna have no other option.
I would just take a 20-minute walk down the road and then check again. As in, I gonna walk for a good couple of blocks.
I wouldn't mind walking an hour either.
Yeah, high key.
I don't mind.
Bye in London, that's scary.
Yeah.
In London, but that area wasn't that bad.
That's true, because where was it again?
Sainsbury, the supermarket.
Thinking like we had it in the stove.
It was FF something. Finsbury Park.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not. That ain't crazy. Yeah, you could take a walk.
For an hour? Where are you going to end up in an hour?
Use Google Maps.
Uber is £20.
Oh.
Yeah, you understand.
Maybe even home. You never know.
That part.
I've been walking a lot and I realized that you can reach home sometimes within 40 minutes by walking.
It's facts.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
Yeah.
We finito?
Yeah, man. I think we can end it here, guys.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. For true, this is like our first episode since we back. No, it ain't our first. In a long time doing just us.
Yeah, we
ain't filming just us in a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you was out the country. I was on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life was being lived.
Yes.
But anyways, we love y'all. We hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful week. And we'll see you bi-weekly. We could see you weekly if you also check out our Patreon.
Hey.
But yeah, y'all have a beautiful week, and we'll catch you bi-weekly on Tuesday.